Hi, Democrats. Today is Friday. It is Friday, July 16th, and it has been a crazy and long week. So today's going to be a short one. Every day I come, I'm going to talk to you about bills, elected officials, and elections. And so today isn't so much a bill. I have two things to talk about. One, I just want to talk a little bit about the child tax credit that is hitting banks this week, probably this week and next week. I made a mistake and got into a conversation with someone who was not prepared to speak in facts today. And I don't know what got into me. This tax credit is something that is needed to help families get ready for the next school year. It is needed to help carry families over. Giving families a big chunk of money in March and April isn't the help that it needs to be. And I appreciate the fact that we have an administration who recognizes what it takes to actually help families move to the next level, actually reach back and help families. And if implemented properly, this action will effectively lift over 1 million children out of poverty. And for the folks who are poo-pooing it, for the folks who don't recognize what a big deal it is, I say, check your privilege. So I just needed to say that because, again, I made the mistake of having that conversation today, and it frustrated me that people are so incredibly selfish that if it's not specifically for them, they don't get it, or if it's put forth by somebody with the wrong political affiliation, they don't get it. And I just think that I'm ready for our nation to come back to its senses. Alrighty, so there's that. So today, this morning, I participated in a day of action here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And at the event, at the location where I was, because it was kind of a citywide day of action, at the location where I was, we registered folks to vote. We got signatures on the No on 816 petition. That was for you, Joshua Harris Till. We are working the petition. I have a couple of petitions that need notaries now, but we got signatures on petitions. And then we also had the health department on hand to do vaccines for COVID-19. And I did some interviews with the press, and they were like, why are you combining these three things? What's the connection between these three things? And the connection between those three things are truly just kind of where I live, right? We need to all be paying attention to the things that affect us day to day. We got to be paying attention to the things that affect us day to day. Literally, 3 reporters asked me, why was I doing voters registration when there's not an election coming up? We are always voters. We are always voters, and we need to always be up on what's happening, up on who's running, what propositions are on the ballot. We need to always be there. And that voters registration card is sort of your skin in the game. And so that's why I'm registering people to vote when we are 15 months out for the election, because everybody needs to be concerned about voting today. Yes, we have 479 days till the election in November of 2022, but that's just around the corner. You need to be finding your candidate right now, learning about them, holding them accountable, making sure that they fit the needs that are important to you. You need to be doing that right now. So that's the voters registration. No on 816. Well, there's a deadline on No on 816, and it's important. Last summer was our biggest summer of social unrest in my lifetime. No, in my awareness time. I'm kind of old. In my awareness time. And I want people, because people always need to be thinking about it. I want people to feel comfortable in participating in direct democracy, feel comfortable in exercising your First Amendment right. And right now, I have to admit, I'm a little jittery because though it doesn't go into effect until November 1st, people know that this law is pending because it was signed by our governor. People know that you literally can run over a protester and not have to worry about going to jail or being sued civilly in the state of Oklahoma. That is insanity, whether you agree with what they are protesting about or not. Because I'm going to tell you, the folks who are shaming people outside of abortion clinics, although we don't have that many here in Oklahoma, I don't want them to get run over by cars, just like I don't want the folks who are fighting for racial justice to get run over by cars. We need to remove the R and the D, and we need to consider fellow Oklahomans' lives. So that's why that. COVID vaccines, Lord have mercy. So we are in the middle of a spike in COVID cases. And I heard on the news yesterday that 72% of the new COVID cases in Oklahoma are the Delta variant. And the folks who are getting the sickest are the unvaccinated. I actually heard them call it the pandemic of the unvaccinated. If you don't have to be a part of a pandemic, why would you? If there was a way that a pandemic can be happening over here and you don't have to get sick, why wouldn't you take the option where you don't get sick? And it's super easy. The needle is super short. It's free. It takes no time. They send you an email when it's time for your second one. I don't understand. And for the people who are watching me and saying, I don't know what's in it. Do you know what's in the lunch you had today? For the people who are saying, you haven't proved it to me. What will it take? How many people have to die before it gets proved to you? To the people who say, it will change my DNA, I need you to write a paper for me to read and explain what that means, because I don't think you know what that means. Get the shot. Save your life. So for me, those are all things that are pressing in our nation, particularly in our state today, that we need to be on top of. Very few people came in for vaccines, and the folks who came said, oh, okay, so this is easier than going to the health department because it's way out there. It wasn't people who were planning to come, but I'm glad that they came. That's 2 less people that we have to worry about hanging out in the hospital on a ventilator, right? One more thing about COVID, because I have recently come out of my quarantine and I want to stay out of my quarantine. And I have some very cool masks, but I'm mad that I've had to drag them all out. Kansas and Arkansas are both having really hard spikes, and they're close to not having enough rooms in their hospitals. They're right here bordering us, guys. Get your shot. Super simple. I know in Tulsa, and so I'm assuming in Oklahoma County as well. Every day at the health department, you can go and get your COVID shot for free. Get your vaccine. All righty. So that's my bills. It's not quite bills, but those are the things that I want to talk about. Elected official. You haven't heard me talk about this guy in a really long time. James Lankford. He has threatened to not pass any, vote positively on any bills that affect Homeland Security until the border crisis is resolved. If you happen to see our junior senator, please remind him that he is the senator in Oklahoma, and none of our state's border borders another country. If you could remind him of that, that would be great, because I think he's forgotten who he was elected to represent, and he's just making up crap. So, and he's running scared. He's scared that his party doesn't support him, and he's trying to get back the zealots. Don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. So that's my elected official. I don't always want it to be a name them and shame them, but they keep doing stuff that's shameful. All righty. So elections. I want to remind you that today is the last day to register to vote to participate in the August 10th elections that are coming up, and their propositions. If you're already registered, and I'm assuming if you're watching me, you're already registered, it's not too late to request your absentee ballot. It's not too late to go out and print out a sample ballot and go figure out, understand the ballot so that you can be prepared to vote. So August 10th. And then July 31st is the convention reconvene, where we will finish our election of our affirmative action positions, review our resolutions, review, modify, approve our resolutions, and review, modify, and approve our constitution and bylaw. That is on July 31st. It is a virtual convention with an in-person component, and that will be in Shawnee, excuse me, at the Grand Casino. Thank you guys for joining me. I do appreciate you. Sharing is caring. I will be back Monday at 4:15. You guys have a great weekend.